It was said like throughout his upbringing, Stephen was treated by different psychiatrists at 3 different hospitals. Again, unsure what led to these visits. Like if they saw something in him, what, I don't know, but what we do know is that psychiatrists, after giving him medication, they had made notes like in his file saying like, he is a dangerous man. And like that was about it. They just made that note in his file. It's like, okay, great. And then in June of 1987, when Stephen was 18, he was caught shoplifting at a local supermarket. And when he was confronted, he took out, his knife that he liked to carry around, and he slashed the manager's face. This led to his arrest, where he was sentenced to 3 years in youth custody. So while in custody, Stephen told probation officers and psychiatrists that he fantasized about being a serial killer. I know, he said this out loud. Most people keep it in their head, but he was like, yeah, this is my goals and dreams in life. Like, that would be great. So with these hopes and dreams, he was released from custody the following year. You'd think that they'd make a little note in his file saying like, he dreams of being a serial killer. Maybe let's keep an eye on this one. But they didn't. So once he was out, at this point, Stephen had completely cut contact with his family and was ready to just move on with his life. So he was able to get a flat in Manningham with different grants and government assistance programs. And while living there, he attended Bradford College, their psychology program, in 1988. So then in September of 1989, Stephen, he gets in trouble again. He was using, I guess, an illegal air pistol to shoot birds. He would go get them after he shot them and then dissect them. Well, he got caught for this, and then he ended up getting sentenced to 100 hours of community service. He would be sent to Rampton Hospital, where he was diagnosed with a personality disorder as well as sadistic and schizoid psychopathy. Nailed it. His psychiatric report described him as having a, quote, preoccupation with murder, particularly multiple murder. Like, okay, great. He sounds promising. The following year, Stephen is given a 2-year prison sentence after he got caught holding a knife to a girl's throat. And, I couldn't find any information about this. It was just this happened, and he ended up serving a sentence at Leeds prison. So feel like, all the red flags have been there for quite some time now, So he gets released from Leeds prison in 1993. And, he's still very fascinated with serial killers. And this leads him to just buying a bunch of books and wanting to learn more about different killers. So, he could study them more efficiently. He was, I guess, really into Jack the Ripper, the Moors murderers, the acid bath murderer. And one of his personal favorites was the Yorkshire Ripper. He really liked the Yorkshire Ripper because he killed a lot of women, and also he was local to the area that Stephen had lived in. So Stephen's yeah. That's him jacking it to these killers. Then in 1996, at the age of 27, Stephen had moved into a 1-bedroom flat in Holmfield Court. And this was a housing association complex. Now, his place was right on the edge of Bradford's red light district, and it was known for being a spot where sex workers would hang out and, walk along this area. It's Thornton Road, and they'd be there every day. When Stephen moves here, he's still in school, and he seems to be doing really well. He's really smart, this guy. He had really high grades. He was excelling. And I guess in the fall of 1997, Stephen begins pursuing a bachelor's degree in psychology at Leeds University. So while he's there, he meets a girl and the two of them start dating. Her name is Zeta. It was said that he would usually go over to her place, 3 or 4 times a week, and that he would never invite her back to his place. Now, if you're dating someone and they don't invite you back to their place, usually it's oh, you must live with your parents or something, right? Well, it was more than that. But according to Zeta, Stephen would experience sexual difficulties, and she said that he was just straight up odd at times. he would get angry if she ever touched his hair, and that Stephen was so afraid that insects or spiders would get into his ears at night that he would like plug them with cotton wool before bed. But listen, like on TikTok, the algorithm, I don't know, but it's been showing me videos lately of people like cleaning out their ears and like a big old spider comes out. So like I kind of get it. Because after seeing those TikToks, I was like, I should wear earplugs. I wanted to die. It was so gross. But Stephen was like super paranoid about it. She was like, okay. So the two of them are dating for like 2 years and she still hasn't been over to his place. So it's like, okay, like when are you going to invite me over to your place? Like, do you even have a place? You live on the corner somewhere? Like, I don't know. Like, it's kind of weird, right? So he finally invites her over to his place. So she said that when she walked in, that her jaw just dropped because she said that his flat was horrific and very scary. She said that when he walked in, first of all, she would look to like her right or something, and there was a bookcase, and it was filled with different horror books on just different serial killers. And, at the time, you got to think about this. This is like pre-internet and all that stuff. Like, it was a little weird. It was like, what is that? And then she also said that there was a ton of, quote, horrific video nasties. I know, I didn't know what that meant exactly, but it was, she didn't like it. So she sees all that and she's like, oh my God, okay. I thought you liked psychology or whatever. She also said that on every single surface in the flat, it was covered in plastic. Even the carpets, like everything was covered in plastic because Stephen was apparently a bit of a neat freak. She's like, okay, this is so cool. Wow. So she said that when she got to his place, obviously, like she was feeling uneasy, she was feeling unsafe, and she kind of just had that like gut feeling of like, I need to get the F out of here. So she tells Stephen, like, I don't feel well. Can you please take me home? And he does. She had to get out of there like ASAP. And then soon after this, she broke up with him. And good thing.